to Tony Martignetti Nonprofit Radio coverage of 18 NTC, the Nonprofit Technology Conference. This interview is sponsored by Network for Good, easy-to-use donor management and fundraising software for nonprofits. We're in the Convention Center in New Orleans, and this is interview number 2 of our coverage, and I'm very pleased to have Amy Sample-Ward with us. Hello, Amy Sample-Ward.
Hello. Interview number 2. I'm sad I didn't get number 1.
I think number 1
I should have hustled.
That's
yeah,
okay.
I should have hustled.
You were booked, or we were booked already.
Yeah.
These interviews go fast.
It's true. They do go fast.
You gotta jump on Nonprofit Radio. Amy, of course, is the CEO of NTEN, the Nonprofit Technology Network, and the social media contributor for Nonprofit Radio. Now, when we're on Nonprofit Radio, but not here, I always say you're social media contributor and CEO of NTEN.
Yes,
but
you get to flip it. Yeah.
But here at NTEN, you're CEO first.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On 18 NTC.
Yeah.
You've been working, the staff has been working very hard on this for months and months.
It's true. Hopefully it feels like we worked hard, but that we are not working hard now, and that you do not see a lot of stress on us now.
Right, no, I see a lot of fun.
Good.
Fun.
Okay, good.
Ailey was very fun last
Yeah.
night. We checked in and everything.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah. Bethany came by today, gave a nice hi. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yes,
great.
so. Before we talk about N10, let's
Sure.
talk about 18 NTC.
Yeah.
I saw 1,320 first-time
First-time attendees.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You like that? We like our first-timers, right?
We like our first-timers, yeah. I mean, it's not, I think there are some folks who are in a position both to really, really want to and really, really be able to come every single year, regardless of location. But we also hear from a lot of folks that that's not really the way their organization has budgeted.
Uh-huh.
What we actually hear a lot of is that people come one year and then they rotate through their team so that each person gets to go, for example, every 3 years, and they rotate who gets to go. So even though
because they're great fun.
Yeah,
They're great
totally.
fun. The food is excellent.
Totally. So we've
the
got
energy is outstanding.
about half of attendees are first timers, but when we run the numbers on if their organization is first, it's much lower. Because it's that
yes.
individual's
Okay.
first time,
Okay.
but the organization has been here in some way or another in the past.
Great. More people being exposed to
Yeah,
NTEN.
exactly.
Okay.
Which is kind of part of our goals, that it isn't just one person in an organization trying to do this work.
Yes. And
right?
we know that NTEN is not only for technologists.
Exactly.
So we don't only want the technologist, if you have one.
Right, if you even have one.
If you have one, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of listeners do not. But if you do, we don't want that person to be the sole person coming.
Right,
There's
exactly.
Lots of, I've already met a couple of other CEO, executive
Yep,
directors.
exactly.
Yes, okay.
Yep.
How many total attendance here?
I haven't seen the final number, but people were even registering still yesterday. So I think when I saw it yesterday, it was at 21, 23, something like that. So well over 2,100. We'll just leave it at that and not have to get a specific number.
2,100 plus. Okay,
yeah.
Excellent. 130 sessions, I
130
think?
sessions, over 300 speakers. Over 90% of sessions have at least one nonprofit staff member speaking.
Yes, that's important. Yes, you like to go beyond the consultants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What stats can I share about Nonprofit Radio? We'll have 25 or 26 interviews scheduled.
Wow.
Over the 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Very pleased with that. I didn't count the number. Most are panels of at least 2.
Yeah,
We
nice.
have a bunch of 3s, even a sprinkling of 4s.
Wow.
Where we're gonna have to have some mic
Double
sharing,
up mics,
mic
yeah.
sharing. So I don't know. We've got 25 to 50, 75. It's got to be 80 to 90 speakers, I would think.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We get good coverage.
Significant
Good coverage.
portion. Yeah.
What else about 18 NTC? What do you
Well,
want to share?
one of the stats, I guess you could say, that I
Okay.
shared this morning was, NTEN has hosted the NTC, but also the community had been self-organizing even before NTEN started. So in a way, the NTC has lasted longer than NTEN, but for all intents and purposes, we'll say as long as NTEN, so 19 years. But we've only been in New Orleans one other time, and that was 10 years ago.
Oh,
And there are 64 folks registered who were at that NTC too.
excellent.
Yeah.
You love data.
Yeah.
Loves data.
Well, and it
Yes,
tells such an interesting story, right? 64 different people.
Yeah.
And of those 64, the vast majority of them, it was their first NTC. So New Orleans was their first, and they have stayed for 10 years. So hopefully, a lot of those 1,300 will stay for 10 years.
Now we know that they've stayed.
Yeah.
It's not like they came 10 years ago and then they skipped 9 years.
Nope.
And now they're back. That's not the case.
I mean, they skipped a couple at different times, but pretty consistently stayed the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to. We don't want any questions lingering about.
For sure.
About
For sure.
The validity of what we're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't question the data.
Okay. All right. No, but challenge.
Challenge. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair. Healthy challenge.
Healthy challenge. All right. 18 NTC. We got. I know something I want to talk about. You are actively pursuing something that you and I have talked about around 18 NTC, and that is the affiliated but not official activities. Maybe I'm not calling them the right thing, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm just not calling it the right thing. NTC beer. Yoga, morning run, explore the French Quarter, bullet journaling, Bujos. I thought bullet journaling was Twitter, but apparently I was mistaken. So these are things that are organically created by community members coming here, but you give them a template and a format to follow, and then you have some disclaimers. It's not our event. You need to coordinate with the people who are creating it, but it's an organic growth. You're empowering the community to take the conference and mold it the way they would like it to be in some small respect.
Yeah, totally.
Say more about that.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different aspects. Yeah. So there are some things that we definitely take, kind of to use your language, a little bit more effort and do create the template and some examples and get them going. And that's things like the dine-arounds. So NTEN actually does basically nothing for that. We just say, you should go to dinner with 5 other people. Here is a Google Doc where you can write down where you just call, make a dinner reservation anywhere for 6 people, put it in this document, and then 5 people add their name, total strangers, that want to go to dinner with you. Yeah. And then the next person just copies the same, table, puts in, I've made a reservation under my name at this restaurant. Do you want to go there? 5 people add their name. Before the conference even started, every single dinner spot was full. People were calling us and asking for help making more reservations because restaurants were full. Everybody wanted to be able to go. And I think it's a great example, both of what we do, but what anybody can do. The community is happy to self-organize, but they often don't know what's allowed or what would work. They've never been there. They don't know what the restaurants are. They see some examples and they think, okay, I too can call a restaurant and make a reservation for 6 p.m. And that's all I have to do. I don't have to know those people. I don't have to go recruit.
Even solicit.
Yeah, I don't even have to recruit friends to come.
Yeah.
NTEN will promote that the dine around is happening, and now I get to meet 5 other people. We all just pay for our own dinner. There's no other logistics that I think people get intimidated by in trying to be a part of an event like that.
I'm going to have to get 6 people who I know are going to the conference. And
how would I find them? And and I think that's true certainly of in-person events like this, but all the time in organizations. So long as you give people the template, you tell them what the lanes on the bowling lane are, they want to do it, and they want to have a place, especially when it's something like this that lets them connect with other community members, and meet people. And we all have to eat dinner, right? Yeah. So why not, do it in this path?
Very smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's consistent with what you and I have talked about on the show many times. Organic growth within the community.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
With some boundaries and a little assistance.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Okay. And like you said, I think the disclaimers are important, not to, not to breeze past them, to make sure people know NTEN is not responsible for your dinner reservations. If you didn't make it, we don't know any details about it, So and I think that goes with creating the guidelines or whatever, so they know where the organization stops and you as the community member have to start with responsibility. But after that, I mean, you've seen people just totally take it and build it how they want it to be.
Yeah. And I don't see that a lot of other conferences. That kind of allowing that
space
to take it to take it in a direction where you'd like to, very simply and within reason. I don't see that a lot. I know you don't want to trash talk your conference competition, but and I'm not trash talking either. But I don't see it. Congratulations!
It's part of the special sauce of NTEN.
How do you come up with these good ideas? Was that a staff-driven idea? Did you see it
I mean,
somewhere
a
else?
lot of these ideas are staff-driven ideas that we see in other places. Not even necessarily other conferences, but just in other aspects of our life, or we read a blog about something and it gave us an idea. But we have all staff NTC meetings, all year round, and staff just bring ideas to those and say, oh, I was at this event in town this weekend, for my knitters group, and somebody mentioned this. What if we turned that around and did it this way for the NTC? And then staff either say that's a horrible idea, no, or let's do it, and who wants to be on the project team, and let's build out a plan. And a lot of it comes kind of through staff, but from the community, from engaging with them, hearing their ideas. And a lot of our online groups, the different kind of topical peer groups that we have, will bring ideas too. Like they'll be having a monthly call and discuss something and say, is there a way we could turn this into an open conversation at the NTC? This was such a interesting idea that we had. I bet more people have ideas to share. And then we work with them on, creating a space for that conversation to happen.
Yeah. Let's talk a little about staff.
Yeah.
How many staff?
14.
Okay, and not all in Portland, Oregon.
Nope.
No,
Portland is our
virtual.
only actual office, but then we have 3 virtual staff.
3 virtual. Okay. I love NTEN.
You do love NTEN.
I'm a member. You're on the show every month.
Yeah.
And you have been since show number 100.
Yeah.
We're coming up on 400.
Oh my gosh.
So that you would have joined in 2011. We started in July of 2010. You would have started in July of 2011.
Wow.
And you're coming up on 7 years. July is going to be your 7th.
Wow, really?
I think I have that right. Because you were on, the first time you were on was show number 100.
Yeah, it was.
And we're coming up on show number 400. So however you slice that, that's another 300 shows, 6 years. It's 6 or 7 years, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And and when you were, at the time, when you first came, you were membership director.
I was.
Right, of NTEN?
Yeah.
Before you were promoted, moved up to CEO.
Yeah.
But so I love NTEN. I love it so much. Sometimes I overthink it. But the staff is. The staff is like motivated.
Yeah.
Motivated and driven are synonyms, so there's no point in saying motivated, driven, but like upbeat.
A little bee colony.
And they care. A bee colony.
Yeah.
They really just care about interacting with people and helping the broader mission, which is smarter use of technology, so that you, listeners, people in small and mid-sized nonprofits, can focus more on your program and mission work, and not stress so much over tech.
Right.
Did I phrase that?
Yeah, that's all great.
Correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So smart staff. It's not even possible to shout out the people who have worked on 18 NTC, is it? Because it's everybody.
It's all
it's
staff.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All staff. All right.
Yep.
We'll leave that there then. Let's talk about NTEN.
Yeah.
As a membership organization, as more than just this conference.
Yeah.
As awesome as it is every year. And then in the end, we'll ask about, remind me if I forget, about 19 NTC.
Okay.
Whatever we can say about 19 NTC,
Great.
if I forget.
Great.
Okay. NTEN. It's a very affordable membership for nonprofits, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Are you acquainted with the
Well,
levels of how affordable it is?
Well, our membership dues, if you could join as an individual, just straight up join as an individual.
That's not the best.
But you could also join as an organization. And if you're joining as either a nonprofit or a for-profit, both organization types have dues levels based on your annual budget. So if you're a really small organization, you'd only be paying $75 a year.
That's excellent.
For all of your staff to have membership. We don't count how many staff you have.
As many staff want to participate,
yeah.
The organization has a membership for them.
Yes, exactly.
Excellent. Yeah.
And then the tiers go up from there. But you can see by the fact that small organizations are at 75, it's not a lot, regardless of how large your organization is.
And what do you get for your $75?
Well, a lot of folks at this, here at the NTC now know that they get a massive discount on their NTC registration. That is a big perk for sure. And you get discounts on all of our other educational programs, including 50% off the price if you're trying to achieve your professional certificate. So that's a huge discount to get a professional certificate.
You have a certification program now, right?
Yes, we have a nonprofit technology professional certificate.
Okay.
Yep.
We'll talk about that too. All
Okay,
right. Now I'll
great.
try to remember a few things.
Okay,
All
great.
right, the nonprofit technology certificate. Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah.
Okay.
So
What else?
50% off
Yep,
educational
yep.
programs. But when we ask members what has the most value for them and what's most important to them about being a member, it's less of the transactional discounts and much more about getting to be a member of this community.
It's community.
And getting to find those people that can answer their questions when they need them answered, but also find those people who could answer questions they didn't know they had, and they just want some colleagues. They just want people that they can connect with regularly. And
you can do that virtually, but there are also meetups around the country.
There are in-person tech clubs that are kind of monthly free events, lots of online groups, tons of online content, and we see a lot of the NTEN community really engaged on social media too, especially Twitter. And you don't need to follow necessarily the organization if you don't want to, but if you follow the hashtag NPTech for nonprofit technology, there's just so much there happening that's really this community using that hashtag.
Let's talk about some of the virtual communities that you do have. Communities of practice. Do I have that right? Are they still?
We just call them online groups, but
online
they
groups.
are essentially
Okay.
a community of practice.
Okay.
They're kind of peer groups, and many of them are formed on a topic like digital communications or using WordPress for your website. So things that maybe are a part of your professional identity, what your job is or what you do at work. There are also a few groups that are a little blurry between professional and personal identity, so women in technology, for example. But you can also create a group. If you see that there's not a group for you, we are happy to support you creating that group. And you can become an organizer, and we'll help you make sure people are in your group and they're engaged, and you have access to all of our tools so you can run a free monthly call or webinar, whatever you want to do to engage your group. You don't have to, you put in the time and we cover the costs.
And do you need to be a member of NTEN to participate
To join in
these
those groups?
online groups?
Mm-mm.
You do
No.
not. Yeah, see, that's part of, let's talk about that part of your mission, which is goes beyond the membership.
Right. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, NTEN is a 501c3 nonprofit, like basically everybody else in the community. We're not an association. We don't believe in having a big paywall that says you can only access our content or access the community because you paid to get that access. Because if we did that, we wouldn't meet our mission, and we wouldn't be able to reach as many nonprofits as we need to that need help.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty open community, and we hope that helps people, whether they can pay or not, still benefit.
And the tech meetups around the country, do we know how many? Do you know how many of those?
Well,
there
there's
are?
a couple dozen of them.
And then we're abroad also.
Yeah, we do have some in Canada and over in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And a couple of dozen in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But of course, you always have the virtual groups, the
Exactly.
online groups to fall back to.
Yeah.
If there isn't a
and
tech
if you
meetup
and if
group.
there isn't a tech club in your city, you can also
Do you
start
wanna
one of
start one?
those.
Do you wanna
Yeah,
start
we'll
one?
help
Yes,
you
yes.
support that too.
Okay. Okay. What else? Tell me what else.
You want to talk about the professional
NTEN.
certificate?
Well, we're going to get
Oh,
to
okay.
yeah, but we have enough time to talk
Oh,
about
okay.
the. I know I did write down, so now I can remember.
Okay.
19 NTC and also the
Great.
professional certificate. Okay, you're off the hook. More about NTEN. What I don't know. Any insider?
Ooh,
You're a
anything
smart- You're a
insider.
smart group. It's a smart group of.
We try to
people.
not have any inside
Pretty
knowledge,
transparent? Pretty
really. I mean,
transparent?
we have
Okay.
quarterly town halls where we share what's happening behind the scenes,
you're
what
on
we're
those. You
working
lead
on,
those, right? You're on, yes.
what's going on. Folks ask us questions. We always answer them publicly. We really try to not have insides. I mean,
Okay.
other than
Okay.
like, how the sausage is made, kind of.
Yeah.
We don't. We do still share that. We actually get a lot of questions in the summertime about, hey, NTC was great. Would you have a call with me and teach me how you did dine arounds or how you did birds of a feather or some aspect of the conference that other folks liked? And staff always take those calls and tell other organizations how to do the same thing that we do, but we don't necessarily write it all down publicly because it would be the most boring, longest thing you've ever read.
Yeah. No, the community would be much more grateful for a 20-minute phone call.
Yes.
Than a 20-page document.
Right.
PDF. Yeah. Here's
Here's
what we did, and So. No,
For
you're,
sure.
You're more. Yeah. I mean, you're a chatty group.
Yeah.
The people
We like to chat.
They do. You do. Okay. Let's talk about the certificate. Somebody's taking pictures. Thank you for shooting picture. Thank you. Where's it going to be? Twitter. Oh, tweeting. Okay.
And in my pocket.
Thank you.
Yes.
We love, his pocket and Twitter. Well, we'll stick with the Twitter. I won't pursue the pocket. No, is it? No.
Check Ben's
Okay.
Twitter right now.
Ben. Oh, let's give him a shout out. Ben.
Yeah.
Ben Bisbee.
Yes.
Ben Bisbee.
Yes, it is Ben Bisbee.
Welcome to the, welcome. You want to pull up, what does Ben do? No, he doesn't want to pull up
We've
the
already
mic.
shared
Okay.
Ben's name, and that's enough for Ben.
That's good. Okay.
I mean, I'm not pleased. If it was anybody else, I'd be like, sure, not with the head of.
Oh, she's not
Oh,
intimidating.
stop.
All right, Ben is saying not with the, just in case, I don't know if we're picking this up on mic, but Ben is saying not with the CEO of NTEN. All right, Ben. All right. Well, thanks for promoting. Thanks for
Bye.
promoting us. I didn't hear what he said, but we'll let it go. I don't know if anybody, I didn't hear that part. So listeners, I'm not cheating you. Okay, thank you, Ben Bisbee, for that little flyby. All right, the Nonprofit Technology Certificate.
Yeah.
This is only a couple of years old.
Yeah.
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 What is it about?
Well, we have heard from this community, the broader NTEN community, for many years at this point, that there are a few different kind of career struggles. One is that most of the people here, even if their title is technology or they would identify themselves as a technologist, very few folks in the community have a technology degree, right? People didn't go to college for a computer science degree. And to advance in a career path that is focused on technology, our institutions have not really embraced that that's not how people come into these roles, right? And so there's a lot of folks facing the reality that to get a promotion or to get that IT director job that, they have 20 years experience working in nonprofits, managing technology. There's no reason they can't have that job, but the job description says they have to have a degree in that field, right? So we've heard a lot of that struggle and frustration, and that, institutions aren't moving as fast as the community is. Mm-hmm. And we've also heard a lot of people say, I know that I have these skills, but as you will appreciate, I think all your listeners will appreciate, our titles in nonprofits are not often representative of all that we do. And to apply for another job and say, oh yeah, I managed our website, but my title was communications coordinator, no one really gets that I do have those skills. I do have that experience. My organization was really bad at job titles. That doesn't mean, that I didn't do it. And so we created the professional certificate both to give people the knowledge and the kind of certification that they want, and for those other folks who feel like they have a lot of knowledge, to help make sure it was rounded out and comprehensive across an organization, so that both of those paths could say, here is a way for me to demonstrate I do have this knowledge, I do have this experience, and I am qualified for whatever job I'm applying for. And we have been really thrilled that even in the first few people that graduated with a certificate, they were writing back to us saying, as soon as I had that certificate, I applied for this other job and I got a promotion into a different department, a different organization. I'm able now to communicate that I do have these skills. Yeah. So that was like exactly what we wanted to hear when we started. And now over 50 people have gotten a certificate, and many more are in the process with a few more courses to go. So yeah, we are trying to not be surprised, because we didn't design this ourselves. We didn't come up with the idea of it ourselves. This was many years of listening to what the community needed and just answering that call, and not designing something in private by ourselves. And we piloted this content in different forms and through other programs where we could kind of test it for a few years before we released it as the certificate. So we're trying to not be surprised, because we know we did the right work and we did a good process to get here. But honestly, we are still surprised, because even when you do it well and you do it right, you're still nervous that no one will come or
Yeah,
that it won't
yeah.
be the thing that the community wants. And it's great that it has gone so well. And now we're working on developing just a lot more courses. So I guess I'll backtrack and explain the way it works is that there's a 10-week kind of, to borrow some language from colleges, like required content that everybody
Yeah,
has
some
to do.
core
Yeah. And then outside of that, in order to get the certificate, you have to do at least 5 other courses. And those you can choose whatever topics you want. And that's our way of helping people kind of focus or say my knowledge is really in this area.
Specialized.
If you're going kind of for a specific angle, or have it all over the place and show that you're more diverse with your experience.
Yeah.
So we're really doing a lot to build out that kind of curriculum essentially so that people could do a much more tailored focus, like have a major, like borrowing that college language. So we're building that out. I think there's over 40 courses on the website right now that people can choose from, and continuing to add to that. Right now we've done a lot to add a number of courses specifically around digital equity, because that's something certainly in line with our mission, but also a much more harder field for people to find content around. Even within NTEN's world, you could find a course on digital marketing or online fundraising, technology management or budgeting. So we've also given ourselves the challenge of making sure we have a lot of content around digital equity and what that means for designing your programs to reach communities who may be not online, how you make your own organizational strategies, that kind of thing.
Okay. And people will find information about the certificate at, of course, at nten.org.
Yep.
NTEN.org. Do you get initials after your name? Is it that kind? Like CFRE?
I mean, we
or
could come up with some
NPC,
initials. Yeah.
NPTC?
We could
You don't
come
have
up with
okay,
some, but
okay.
no.
So nten.org, join the organization. For Pete's sake, I'm a member. I'm not just, what do we say? I'm
If
not just
Tony can be a
I'm not
member,
just-
you
yeah,
can
and
be
what
a
do I know
member.
from technology? But I'm learning. I learn a little bit every month from Amy. Okay, we got to do a quick shout out for 19 NTC.
Let's do it.
Do we know dates?
We do know
locations?
dates.
Location.
Yeah. We will.
19 NTC, please.
It's technically public knowledge, but we haven't directed anyone to the public knowledge. So
All right.
we'll announce it more formally on Friday. But it'll be in Portland, NTEN's hometown.
Portland.
Yeah.
I love Portland. The
we'll
trucks.
all get to
The
sleep
trucks.
the food trucks.
The carts. No,
Yeah.
the cart.
Yeah, the food carts.
Carts. The trucks in New York. The
Yes.
carts in Portland. Please.
Yes.
Get
We'll
that
get to
right.
sleep in our own beds
Okay.
for once as the conference staff. It'll be in March, the 13th through the 15th.
Okay.
So that's just like this, where it's a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so everybody can stay the weekend in Portland.
Portland's a great town. Yes. I had a
Yeah.
very nice long time there. Seeing you, getting to get to know Max a little better.
Yeah.
Max is Max Sample Ward? No, just Max Ward. Max
Yes,
Ward, right?
Max
Just
Ward.
Max Ward. Amy's husband. Is he stage managing today?
He is.
He is.
He's back there with a headset on.
Okay. We got to wrap it there. Thank you so. Oh, and very, very nice. We got to wrap with this. It's so good to see you in person.
Yay!
Always by phone.
It's so
You're-
great to
you're
get
traveling or
to
something,
share
and-
a microphone table.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for sitting
thank
down.
you.
I know
Thank you
it's-
for
I know
having
it's,
me.
and thank the staff of NTEN.
I will.
I really
will.
do like I love NTEN.
I will.
I'm a member, for God's sake. Join the organization, nten.org.
Thanks,
Listen-
everybody.
Thank you. This interview sponsored by Network for Good, easy-to-use donor management and fundraising software for nonprofits. This is Tony Martignetti, Nonprofit Radio coverage of 18 NTC, the Nonprofit Technology Conference. Thanks so much for being with us.